You build the perfect Playwright scraper. The selectors work, the logic is clean, you hit run, and within 30 seconds, you're staring at a 403 error. Or worse, a CAPTCHA page. Or even worse, fake data served just to fool bots like yours. Here's something most people don't realize. Over 60% of web scraping failures have nothing to do with your code. They happen because of how your requests look to the target server. And the fix? It almost always comes down to one thing: your proxy. In this video, I'm going to break down the best proxies for Playwright web scraping, what they are, how they work, which providers are actually worth your money, and how to plug them directly into your Playwright setup in under 2 minutes. Whether you're scraping e-commerce sites, real estate listings, social platforms, or running price intelligence at scale, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which proxy to use and why. Let's get into it. Why you need a proxy with Playwright. Playwright is a browser automation tool. It mimics a real user. But here's the problem. When you send hundreds or thousands of requests from a single IP address, websites notice. Their anti-bot systems flag it immediately. Think about it from the website's perspective. A real user in Mumbai doesn't visit a product page 500 times in 10 minutes. A bot does. Proxies solve this by routing your requests through different IP addresses, making it look like the traffic is coming from thousands of real users spread across the globe. No proxy, you get blocked. Wrong proxy, you still get blocked, just slightly later. Right proxy, your scraper runs clean, fast, and undetected. So let's talk about what the right proxy actually looks like. Types of proxies. There are 4 main types of proxies you'll come across for web scraping. Let me break them down fast. Number 1, Datacenter proxies. These are the most common and the cheapest. They come from cloud servers, AWS, DigitalOcean, that kind of thing. They're fast and affordable, but websites can detect them pretty easily because their IPs are associated with data centers, not real users. Good for low security targets, public APs, basic sites, internal testing. Number 2, residential proxies. These IPs belong to real devices, real people's home internet connections. When your request comes from a residential IP, it looks completely legitimate to the target server. These are the gold standard for scraping protected sites. The trade-off? They're slower and more expensive, but for serious scraping, worth every penny. Number 3, ISP proxies. Think of these as a hybrid. They're hosted on servers but registered under real ISPs, so they look residential but perform like data center proxies. Fast, clean, and harder to detect. Great for high volume scraping where speed matters. Number 4, rotating proxies. This isn't a separate type, it's a feature. A rotating proxy automatically switches your IP on every request or every session. You can get rotating residential, rotating data center, or rotating ISP proxies. For large-scale scraping, rotation is non-negotiable. Alright, now you know what each type does. Let's talk about which providers actually deliver. Best proxy providers for Playwright. I've tested a bunch of these. Here are the ones that consistently perform well with Playwright specifically. First up, Bright Data, formerly Luminati. They are the largest residential proxy network in the world. Over 72 million IPs across 195 countries. Playwright integration is seamless. They have a dedicated scraping browser that pairs directly with Playwright. Premium pricing, but premium results. Best for enterprise-level scraping where reliability is everything. Next, Oxylabs, another heavy hitter. Oxylabs offers residential, data center, and ISP proxies with excellent geo-targeting. Their residential network has over 100 million IPs. The dashboard is clean, documentation is solid, and their uptime is consistently above 99.9%. Great for teams and businesses scraping at scale. Third, Smartproxy. This is the one I usually recommend to indie developers and small teams. It's significantly more affordable than Bright Data or Oxylabs, but still gives you access to over 40 million residential IPs. The Playwright integration is straightforward, and their pay-as-you-go plan is perfect if you're not scraping at massive volume yet. Fourth, IPRoyal, a newer player but seriously underrated. Their Pawns residential proxies are ethically sourced and surprisingly reliable. If you're on a tight budget but still need residential IPs, IPRoyal deserves a look. Performance on mid-difficulty targets is solid. Fifth, Webshare. Best for free tier testing and Datacenter use cases. Webshare gives you free Datacenter proxies to start with, which is great for development and testing your Playwright scripts before you commit to a paid plan. Not for scraping protected sites, but for getting started, genuinely useful. Quick recap: enterprise scale, go Bright Data or Oxylabs. Mid-size and teams, go Smartproxy. Budget conscious, try IPRoyal. Testing and dev, start with Webshare. How to set up a proxy in Playwright. Now let's make this actually useful. Here's how to plug a proxy into Playwright in about 60 seconds. In Playwright, whether you're using JavaScript or Python, you pass the proxy config when launching the browser. In JavaScript, it looks like this. That's it, 3 lines. Every request your Playwright script makes now routes through your proxy. For rotating proxies, most providers handle rotation server-side, so you use the same endpoint and the IP changes automatically per request or per session. Some providers also give you a session token to stick to one IP across a full scrape, useful when you're dealing with login flows or multi-page sequences. Pro tip: always pair your proxy with a realistic user agent string and some random delays between requests. Proxy plus stealth behavior equals a scraper that actually survives in the wild. If this helped you, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel grow. Subscribe if you want more no-nonsense content on web scraping, automation, and developer tools. Drop a comment below telling me what you're scraping. I read every single one, and I might just make a dedicated video on your use case. See you in the next one.